reward him.
Two teams looking to try and get things underway in the early days of this USL Championship. From Trinity Health Stadium in Hartford, it is Hartford Athletic against Atlanta United 2. Phil Shane alongside Ryan Davis here today. And Ryan, taking a look at both of these teams, they've shown some promise in the early going. They just need a little more consistency. And for Hartford, it looks like they might just be getting a weapon in Prince Sethi.
Yes, he's a dynamic left-footed playmaker in the last third of the field, can create for himself and create for others. We see he has 2 assists already in just 2 games. He's going to be a handful for Atlanta tonight in the last third of the field.
Meanwhile, on the other side, this Atlanta squad already 4 games under their belt, and offense had been a huge problem until last game.
With Jackson Conway cut loose, getting up there above the defender, nodding it in, an easy goal. And if he liked it once, well, here it is again, a second header, then that's 2. But he wasn't finished yet. Here's the hat trick. Turns, finishes to the fast post, and Jackson Conway, 3 goals, the hat trick man. And then just to tap it off, Mateus comes in and scores a screamer to give Atlanta their 4th goal. And it was the only goals they've scored so far this season, Phil, so he came at the right time, and maybe they may have some momentum.
Well, only goals they've scored this season, and none of them are in the starting lineup here today. We'll tell you why when we come back. It is Hartford, it is Atlanta 2, and it is next.
You've got a life to live, and you don't want to miss a beat. But sometimes it happens. And Trinity Health of New England is ready with comprehensive cardiovascular expertise, delivered with commitment and compassion throughout our network of hospitals and physician offices. So when you trust your care to Trinity, you won't have to hope for the best. You can set your heart on it. Trinity Health of New England. Care that's always there.
Hartford Athletic would like to thank our partners, the Connecticut Army National Guard, Midline Chiropractic, Walgreens, and Connecticut. And taking a look at the starting lineup brought to you by Trinity Health of New England, Hartford Athletic. This is what it looks like on paper. We're not exactly sure what Harry Watling's going to do when the whistle blows, but as he likes to say, he has a few gray beards in the back this year.
Correct. Very similar lineup against the one that went into Arlang Stadium last week and got a tough point against the Rowdies. McGlynn pulling the strings. Danny Barrera needs to get going tonight at home in number 10. Prince Sadie up there partnering Obregon, and Andre Lewis and Budari doing the shift out wide. They've gone back to that back three. Should be interesting.
Barrera, one of 3 players for Athletic who have Atlanta ties. And by the way, mention the fact that the 4 goals they have scored this season, not in the starting lineup today. Matthias is on the bench. Jackson Conway rewarded for his hat trick for a spot on the bench with the big club today. Someone needs to step up.
Correct. Luke Brennan, only 1 shot so far in his 4 appearances, playing up top tonight. He needs to get going himself. Youngster Mejia and Vijal, the number 10s, just behind him, will be pulling the strings and try to create some opportunities. By the way, that kid Vijal is 16 years old. Hold your breath.
Lineups brought to you by Liberty Bank. Take a look at our keys to the game brought to you by the Hoffman Auto Group. And right now for Hartford Athletic, their home opener tonight, they want to put on a show for the fans.
Yeah, Chris Watling wants them to have more of the ball than they did last week, so they have to control the tempo and keep their fans in it. Now, if you're Atlanta United too, you want to disrupt that. Press aggressively and press often. Don't let them get into any sort of rhythm, and try to get the ball back as quick as you can with this young energy from Atlanta United too.
Just about ready for the opening kickoff. Celebrating its 75th anniversary, Select proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship. Choose what you play with at www.selectsportamerica.com. Select, League's choice, player's choice. A little bit of a huddle before this one gets underway. We're still early days, might be reintroducing themselves to one another.
Phil, what a night for this Hartford team though. You get to play in a brand new stadium, your fans come out, fill up the room, and you get to put on a show right in your hometown.
Referee getting ready to get this underway. Christian Centeno, Will Etten, and Ian Mangione running the lines. Kenneth Rojas, the 4th official here today, as we are underway. And some early pressure here, trying to put the youngsters under fire. Ball touched away, and a little calm play by McFadden. Then they'll play it all the way back through Firmino. Phil Shane, Ryan Davis with you here today. Hartford Athletic taking on Atlanta United 2. Atlanta coming off of a 4-goal performance in their last game, but never that easy to get it done away from home. So talked about the keys to the game, but now that the whistle's blown, especially with a very, very young lineup here from Atlanta, do you expect Hartford to go for the jugular early, or do they try and wait it out?
I think they try to wait it out, try to get everyone a touch of the ball like you're seeing right now, get some rhythm going, get your fans into it as well. And let's talk about Atlanta United too. They're playing with house money, Phil. These youngsters are looking to impress their coaches to get to play for their first team. So it's almost like you got nothing to lose, which makes you the most dangerous man in the room.
Well, talking with Harry Watling, the Hartford coach, before this match, that was one of the things he said. The talent is there, and in some ways, it's not that they're not expected or trying to win, but they have other goals, and exactly what was done with Jack Collison, pointing out to the big boys Jackson Conway's performance last week, and today he finds himself on the bench against DC United in MLS play. So that's part of the ticket as well. Through ball cut out by Obregon on the front line. Might have found Sethi if it kept going, but now it is wide to the Liberian. Gets it back in front, but gobbled up by Justin Garces, the former Bruin, back in his home grounds after his college career is done, now 21 years of age, and maybe the next keeper for United.
You know, last week, the big talking point for this Hartford team is how well they did without the ball against the Rowdies. Just looking at this Atlanta United too, their DNA is to keep the ball. Now Hartford, playing at home, wants to get that ball and be the protagonist tonight. Just look at the blue shirts, how disciplined they are in holding their markers and pressing together as a unit. It's just impressive to watch.
Temperature near 70 in Atlanta, closer to 50 in Hartford. Not that much of a difference, especially if you're on the field. Might play a role a bit coming off the bench later as things get even chillier. Here comes Atlanta, pushing it up the line. Brendan Lamb and Jonathan Vial out wide. Vial standing at the top of the 18, and especially in the absence of Conway, he'll be expected to add some firepower. Lifted into the middle, cleared away. Johnson and Jadama trying to combine, and it's cleared out for the Atlanta throw.
You know, Phil, you touched on experience. Johnson, who just cleared that ball out, just brought back at 29 years old to come and bring some oomph into this lineup, and he has provided that so far, scoring that terrific goal against the Rowdies last week, and definitely bringing that veteran presence in this Hartford lineup.
Wadling talking about that was one of the goals they wanted in the offseason. He said he wanted to get some gray hair back there. Then he quickly realized that players don't really like talking about gray hair. He says, I don't mean literally. Ball launched into the 18 and cleared away. Just wanted to get some experience because Hartford gave away some cheap goals, something they're going to try and make sure doesn't happen this year.
Phil, if I talked about gray hair, we'd be here all night, so.
We got some time. Zhao pushing it out wide. Lamb trying to make the ball turn the corner, but loses his footing in the process, so Austin Pack is going to have a goal kick.
Well, the brand new surface at Hartford. So one of the players just slipped there. Let's see how they adjust to this new strip, this new field.
Getting into a little bit of danger in his own end. Yadama dribbles into the 18 and then loses possession, saved by his teammates. Now some more pressure on that far flank, trying to turn against the grain, and slammed away.
Well, we mentioned in keys of the game, they're going to press high and press often. Let's see if Hartford can capitalize on that space behind when Atlanta do press high.
Garces comes out, quickly flips it over to the former Fighting Irish defender Aidan McFadden. Both teams on paper say they're going 3 in the back. We'll see how that one plays out. Wadling talking about his preferred being a 4-3-3 with wingers, but sometimes you also have to play to your opposition so you don't leave too many doors open.
Phil, are we seeing the return of the 3 at the back, which was so prominent in the 90s and early 2000s, the Serie A pattern?
Always helps when you have a Maldini in the mix.
And Franco Baresi and company, right?
5 minutes in, both teams exchanging a few punches early. Atlanta maybe the most dangerous opportunity, but much of the play in the midfield to this point. Up for Obregon, touching it back. Running forward, Boudadi, the Moroccan international, spins it inside, back post, and a lunging clearance by the 16-year-old Noah Cobb, saving a few blushes. Shot from distance, Garces slaps it away, trying to track it down inside the area. Obregon, but he was in an offside position. Good pressure by Athletic.
Well, that all started with Boudadi. He led this team in crosses just last season, and he's backed his old tricks again. Going to the right-hand side, the ball pops back out to Barrera, who has eyes at the back of his head, and McGlynn unloading. That ball wobbled a bit of a knuckleball. Good save by the keeper.
McGlynn, brother still in his teen years, playing for Philadelphia. Connor at 23. Former Siena teammate of Obregon, and they'll be out there again today. Cutting back inside again, Jadama into his own area. They do get it out to the midfield. Andre Lewis, the Jamaican international. Out wide for Johnson. Johnson with 2 up front. Atlanta has numbers back, swings it inside, but he can't get it to stay in play. Good build-up, but nothing on the finish.
Well, Johnson is a natural right footer. He just tried to put his left foot through it just to get the ball into the box. Just not in his comfort zone to cross the ball with his left foot, but being the wily veteran that he is, I'm sure he's going to improve on that.
29 years of age, named Joel Johnson, but Born in Spain, his father's Spanish, came up through the Valencia system and actually spent some time at Real Madrid before heading stateside.
That spells pedigree in my books.
Launched back over his head by Barrera, who has a pretty good pedigree of his own.
Oh, good touch.
Long ball for Obregon. Lets it run for Princedi. A little bit of help on the inside. Over Garces, but over Obregon. Barrera tracks it down. The Hartford captain. A little chip inside the 6, but the door was shut. An easy grab for Garces.
Well, there's a reason we have put Sadie as one of the players to watch at the beginning of the game on 1v1 situations. Easily gets his left foot and can whip the ball in or get a shot off. Just so hard for defenders to stay in front of him, which allows other blue shirts to get open as the game progresses.
Atlanta United very busy already in this new campaign. Tough loss against Louisville City to open up. Here's the youngster Vijal, wide open on this near side, trying to find an opening, but cannoning it over the crossbar. David Mejia, the Peruvian, couldn't keep the shot down.
Well, Mejia had a similar play last week against Charleston, and he put his left foot through it and hit the post. This time, good harassment from the back three for Hartford, not allowing him to get over it, and in the end, it ended up on somebody's roof.
Ball touched back by Sethi. Trinity Health of New England, proud to be the official medical provider and title partner of Hartford Athletic. Always committed to providing the best healthcare experience every day for every patient. Trinity Healthcare of New England, care that's always there. Throw in, Hartford. Atlanta with some token pressure, but now stepping up Brennan. Brennan just 17 years of age. Normally a left winger, but more central responsibilities. And that token pressure, they cash it in with a turnover. Back inside Mejia. Caressing it around his body. Chidama to send it wide. Intercepted on the long clearance. Centeno, another winger slash wing back. A lot of versatility. Hartford should have the height, the physicality, and the experience.
You said it, Phil. Harry Watling talked about set pieces in this game. He thinks it's going to be a factor for Hartford. If things don't go their way in open play, they do expect to put Atlanta under pressure in corners and free kicks.
Driving to the inside, Budadi. He's been the danger man so far as we hit the 10th minute. Far side Sethi. Sweeps it into the 6. Garces keeps his line. Please join us in helping founding partner the Hartford celebrate nearly 75 years of educating children about fire safety with their Junior Fire Marshal program. Visit juniorfiremarshal.com to learn more. Atlanta in white from the right to the left here in the early going. Obregon and Sethi stepping up to put that young back line under pressure. Just to give you an idea again, you have McFadden at 23, former Fighting Irish defender, the former Terp Mikey Ambrose. And they stick the 16-year-old kid in the middle of them. Noah Cobb, a very promising future, and he's already come to the rescue here tonight.
And I love that about Atlanta. They don't make any excuses. They put their young players right in the thick of things, just like young Jonathan Vijal. And of course, Conway, who scored the hat-trick, who got promoted to the first team tonight. They don't make excuses for the younger players at all, giving them all the opportunities to play in tough situations.
Trying to turn McFadden as he steps up into the attack, draws the foul. It's going to be a free kick. Arguing is Budadi, but he's never going to win that one. McFadden trying to start it quickly, but the referee wasn't quite ready. Mention the late goal scored by Louisville City to give them the 1-0 in the season opener against United 2. Their home opener gave up midway goal in the second half to Red Bull 2 to fall. Blown out by the Rowdies in their next game at home. Ball lifted all the way across to the back post and Little touch by Johnson sends it wide for the throw in before they bounce back with that 4-1 shellacking of Charleston. The reason I mention that, you talk about that 3-0 performance at home in the loss against Tampa, and it gives Hartford a bit more credit for the 1-1 that they got in Tampa in their last game, and maybe unfortunate they didn't walk away with a 1-0 victory.
Absolutely. I mean, the grit, the intangibles they showed in that game, and now they get their first look on. This is some pressure right here.
And Garces elects to just play it safely into the stands.
So the fact that they had to play 2 games on the road to open their season, Hartford, and they showed those intangibles to sort of grind out a result. Now they get a chance to play at home, play more aggressively, and have a little bit more possession, as you would think. It'd be interesting to see how they adjust to be a more attacking team rather than a reactionary team when they play on the road.
Next match coming at home, an Open Cup affair against Oyster Bay before they head back on the road to face Birmingham Legion and Miami FC in USL play. Spanked by McFadden as he switches fields. Sadie stepping up, trying to go up the line. Nice cut inside by Vijal, but left it on the doorstep, and Andre Lewis steals it away. For Atlanta, welcoming Detroit City, and then on the road at Indy 11 and Pittsburgh. 3 teams that have gone through quite a big build in the offseason. That's why, again, early days, never quite sure what to expect offside against Obregon.
Yeah, Hartford bringing in Andre Lewis, Joel Johnson, Peter Lee Vassell coming in from Indy 11. Another Jamaican, Madhu Jadama. We just mentioned him a little while ago, Phil. He came from that Atlanta United 2 setup. He is sort of grained and molded in the Atlanta United 2 sort of textbook, if you will.
Touched in for Barrera, forgot something, but quick thinking keeps it alive. Lewis behind him. Came over from Colorado Springs, former Portmore United man. Obregon draws the foul about 30 yards out. You talk about Al Jadama coming up through Atlanta United 2, played there just a couple of seasons ago. Well, 2 of the stars also, Sadie and Barrera, both with experience in Atlanta. Playing for the Silverbacks in their reserves.
Just looking at the physicality, look at young Cobb just getting his foot in front of it. Now, I always say in this area, very awkward. A little too far out to beat the keeper unless something special happens, but a little too close to dink the ball over the wall and have players run onto it. Let's see if they change something up, or is Barrera going to have a 35-yard shot here?
Well, with those dinks, what you want to try and do is put it in that little gap where the keeper has to think. They send it wide, however. Mejia heads it away outside, but Hartford gets it back into the mix. Looking for Obregon, but headed away nicely by United. Battling for it in the midfield is Brennan. And it's all the way back to Brendan Lamb. Now in his 3rd season from North Carolina.
The 16-year-old is really struggling on this press, Phil. Vijal, every time they crowd him, he's playing hot potato with the ball.
Nice touch, Barrera. Slotted through for Lewis, now coming down the right side. Help on the overlap. Caresses inside. Ball off the post. Did it cross? Screaming that it did is Obregon. Garces with a touch off the iron and then back to the keeper.
Well, Garces not only collected the ball, but also collected the heart that just jumped right out of his chest. Good header by Obregon, but it was straight to the goalkeeper. And he completely fumbled it, and thank God for the post, which was the best defender on site at the time. And finally, he collected it back.
Don't need the technology there, but it was close. Not a poor header, but it could have been sharper to the corner. Still, maybe a sign of things to come from the Honduran striker.
Well, so far, we've seen 2 great crosses from the right-hand side. It was Budadi and now Andre Lewis. He seemed to be finding some good space on the right. Let's see if that continues.
Looking to try and force it into the 18, parried away. One back in the midfield by the Brazilian Firmino. Nicholas, that is.
Not Bobby?
Might be available. This one coming up through the New England Revolution a few years back.
You know, young Nicholas Firmino, he's now turned into a deep-lying playmaker. He played further up the field early on in his career, and it's now looked like Atlanta United too are finding a nice spot for him to be more influential deeper on the pitch.
Ball trickles across. It'll be a throw-in. Hartford Athletic would like to thank Nuevo Pasta and Citizens Bank for supporting our Goals for Meals program. For every Hartford Athletic goal scored this year, Nuevo Pasta and Citizens Bank donate meals to Food Share Connecticut. Crossed in, past the spot, chested down calmly by Budadi, and Austin Pack with a rare touch.
Rare touch, but last week he was one of the players of the match in Alang Stadium. Had some fantastic saves against the Rowdies. Has some big shoes to fill with Jeff Caldwell leaving.
Knocked back. Up the line for Sethi. Slashing run, Barrera, if they can find him. Drives to the goal line. Sethi, a little bit of a spin off the touch, and they'll settle for the corner. Don't miss our next match right here at Trinity Health Stadium, April 7th at 7, hosting the first in the 2022 U.S. Open Cup Tournament. Go to hartfordathletic.com for tickets and more.
Well, here's their chance, their first real chance of getting a set piece right into the mixer. Let's see if those center backs like Johnston and company can make a difference against the short Atlanta United 2 team.
Little air underneath this one towards the spot. Well defended as Jadama impeded in his efforts, and a goal kick upcoming for Garces.
Well, I think the fingers have to be pointed to Andre Lewis on that delivery. He totally took Atlanta United 2 and gave them an out, if you will. That ball was played behind the penalty spot, which made it a lot easier for the center backs to defend.
Talked about physicality. Well, Hartford, Jadama at 6'1", McGlynn 6'4", Brewitt 6'1". Should have a bit of a height advantage if they can put it in the right spot. Stolen away by McGlynn as he continues his run forward, looking for a little bit of help. Pinned on the sideline, tries to walk it down. Not enough for a foul, says the referee. And McGlynn gets up in disbelief.
So Conor McGlynn is usually the one tackling and distributing in that center circle. Finds himself out on the wing and a little bit outside of his comfort zone.
By the way, something we haven't really talked about. We talked about the new field, the new name on the stadium with all the bells and whistles. The fans, by the way, getting purple scarves to show their support of the fans here at Trinity Health Stadium. But we are still talking Connecticut, and we are only just in April. This is the earliest debut home match for Athletic in their history. So temperature in the 50s. A lovely day on the schedule. Foul against McGlynn, and he's going to get a talking to.
Well, what a plus to have your center back with this type of skill in his arsenal. Beats one with the flick and then just blows past two defenders and draws a free kick just outside the box. That's Aidan McFadden if you need him. Completely just opening up Hartford.
If they hadn't brought him down, it could have been more dangerous. 4 in the wall. Pack trying to line it up. McFadden and Mikey Ambrose, the former U.S. Youth International, standing over the ball. Well, maybe a little far away to put the baseboard down at the bottom, but Andre Lewis trying to make sure one doesn't sneak through.
Well, to have the righty and the lefty over it, I'm going to put my money on the righty for McFadden. It certainly suits his angle.
Again, artificial, making things skid a little bit. That one whacks off the wall, heading it clear as the Liverpudlian Brewitt. Launched long, Pack brings it down. Quickly starting a break the other way. Sethi inside with Lewis if he can find him. Threads it forward for Barrera, but at 32, he's not going to catch up to many of those. They do say a foul, and did that come off the hand? A card coming out. Brendan Lamb might be disagreeing, but the referee did not hesitate.
I think when Lamb went to the ground, he used his hand to corral the ball. He slid early to stop the cross, and there he is, using the hand. Yep, easy one for the referee.
"17-year-old defender rather get the card than get victimized." Now from an angle, and again with that height, got to drive it in, not give Garces and the defense a chance to react. Looking for their first home goal of this 2022 campaign here in the 24th minute.
You expect Lewis to put this one very close to the keeper here now.
Hangs it up, Garces out. Got a touch to it to slap it away from Jadama, but gathered in by Hartford in the midfield.
Yeah, after Lewis put that ball behind the penalty spot in the corner, you knew he was going to go close to Garces. Good punch by the keeper.
Now Barrera lifting it long again for Sethi wide. As Johnson inside, but off of his arm. Hartford Athletic would like to thank our founding partner, Travelers. Thanks to Travelers, presenting partner of the Community Champion Program. Children from underserved communities throughout Greater Hartford able to come to the matches free of charge. Up the line. Vijal sees it poked away. To this point, you can see a lot of dynamic play from Atlanta, but not in the dangerous situations. Hartford's done a good job keeping them at bay so far.
Definitely a more secure unit, Hartford. They seem to be a lot more in sync after that match last week. But like you said, with that,
there's commentator's curse.
Yeah, but like you said, though, the young talent of Vijal and Mejia and McFadden, like we just saw, we see the burst of talent that Atlanta United too have, but just you don't see that cohesion because of the constant mixing and matching of the lineups per week.
Although still just the third match for Hartford, so they are still trying to polish it. Here stolen away, but Ed is standing in the middle. They'll chip it in. Obregon brings it down, surrounded by white jerseys. Maintains possession. In for McGlynn. Back for the Jamaican Lewis. Threads it forward. Barrera chipping it into the area. Obregon at the edge of the 6. Good play by Garces.
Well, you don't get 12 assists last season by just playing the ball backwards. Barrera with a clever flick, almost finding Obregon, and it just shows what the number 10 can do in tight spaces.
Now a chance for Atlanta pushing up into the attack. Robbie Mertz, haven't called his number much, takes it to the 18. Stripped as he enters. A blind pass into the middle, straight to Vijal, and stepping in to save the day, Andre Lewis.
Well, it was almost Brewitt having blushes on that pass.
Ball launched back in, but gobbled up by Pack. Lyco Office Furniture, a proud sponsor of Hartford Athletic. For over 40 years, Lyco Office Furniture, furnishing startup to Fortune 500 companies all over New England. Go to lycoinc.com for more. 27th minute, Hartford on the attack. Sethi takes it into the 18, swept away, and they'll take the throw in about box high.
Great tackle. Sethi again, just constantly probing, always asking questions in that last third. Had to go to ground, but what a timely tackle that was.
Ball curled all the way back to Christian Gomez. The Venezuelan inside. Brought down Obregon, but did he use that upper arm again? And the answer is yes. Not a bad idea on the pass from Gomez.
Love the idea of mixing the ball, going side to side, and then finally dinking the ball over the top. And Obregon looks like he brought that down like a center posting up in a basketball match. Under
pressure, McFadden. Back to Garces. Miami born, but went up early to Atlanta, then went away to UCLA for his collegiate career and brought back as a homegrown. Only 6'1". And again, not every goalkeeper needs to be a giant.
Tell Jorge Campos. Is it Jorge Campos? Tell Jorge Campos that.
Nick Raimondo, another one in that Campos fashion. Not sure how Garces would look in one of those jerseys, but I'm sure he wouldn't mind.
Please bring it back, Phil. Bring back those shirts.
Johnson up the line. Barrera wide. Hartford starting to get a bit more control in the midfield. A little greedy on that one, though, by Lewis, and he's forced to retreat. Chipped across near side for the 25-year-old Bruin.
Look at the
nice
press.
step in Mejia. Brennan. Slotted across. Lamb now coming from the left side. Tried to get lost. And it's finally slammed away. Who did it come off of? It looks like he's calling for the goal kick.
Well, Atlanta United too showed that press. We talked about it in the keys to the match, trying to disrupt things, trying to get a goal, a quick counter press against this Hartford team. Almost working, but Budadi and company doing a great job. Just not giving away to that white wave in the last third.
Christian Centeno having a chat with Budadi.
Phil, you're 29 minutes in. If you are Hartford, you're not too disappointed. We talked about the first time being on home soil this season and trying to get some sort of attacking flow. Have to be a little bit more patient, Hartford.
Obregon, flag stays down. Steps in the way of the pass. A little delicate touch, but not quite on the same page.
Goals are scored usually by speed of play in the last third. You can still see players second-guessing their runs and their passes for this Hartford team. Like we said, only 29 minutes on their home field, still trying to figure things out in the last third.
Out wide for McFadden. Jack Collison screaming out instructions from the bench. 15 and change to go in this opening half. Thank you to all of our Business Alliance members. Nice Business Alliance partner of the match is Blue Crest Inc. Well, a touch of the blue here, but too much on the green. Carries away from Obregon and out for the goal kick.
Well, it's that man Barrera again. Eyes behind his back, just turns one time and plays it into the path of Obregon. But as it hits the surface, the ball just skids on. And it's all downhill from there.
Doesn't matter if it's natural or the artificial variety. Takes a bit of time, game time, to get used to the surface. So maybe a bit more home field advantage as the season progresses. Lewis, edge of the 18, rolling it wide. Saley forced into retreat, but instead tried to turn, poked off of his boot. Lamb looked to be held. No whistle. The shot well wide, but Garces keeps it in play.
I think it's one of those instances where everyone stopped and looked at the referee, realized the game was going to play on. It looks like Lewis just let it fly.
To the center circle. Just about an hour left to go in this one. Still awaiting our first goal. Wide from Mejia. The man from Lima. Came up through San Martin. One of the smaller clubs in Lima, but also a former champion in recent years. More recently with Jacksonville. McGlynn stepping up, the pass goes wide into the 6, loose inside, and it bounces back to the arms of Pack, who just kept it away from a slashing Robbie Mertz.
What a recovery by Pack. He completely flummoxed on the cross, but just stayed with it. And again, a brave save at the feet of Robbie Mertz. Good cross initially from Atlanta United too, though. Just a little bit of space, and the delivery was fantastic. It drew Pack right into the play and almost paid off.
Down the line, but no one making the run. Soft inside, but Etta reads it well. Takes it away from Lamb. Top of the 18. Lewis in. Oh, shot by Sadie. Slapped away Godsis to safety.
Well, just giving you a quick snippet of what this front three of Barrera, Obregon, and Sadie can do. High press, they win it back. And a great shot in the end, and even better save. Here's Lewis. Here's Obregon coming inside, the Venezuelan. And a strong save by Garces. Boy, would he want to get a goal under his belt. Obregon, so much pressure on number 9s to get the ball in the back of the net.
Honduran under 23 showed flashes last year. Needs to catch fire this. Flicked back to the 6, loose inside. McGlynn can't get there before it's cleared away.
You know, Phil, we were talking about Mejia a little while ago. The man from Lima. Peru has a pretty big game coming up in a couple of months.
There's a few games that are coming up. And
I believe,
a lot relying on it.
I believe their playoff match will be either between UAE or Australia to get into the World Cup. Well, you never know. If he puts in some performances, maybe on the bench.
Again, gave France and Tunisia all they could handle last time out. Oh, ball whipped wide. Located in Windsor, Connecticut, Day Hill Dome features the region's only full-size indoor field plus multiple outdoor fields. Visit dayhilldome.com for more info. Brennan, normally a wing player, having to fill that center channel in the absence of Conway here today. Got the frame, but maybe not quite the experience yet for the 17-year-old. But in some ways, with players like Vijal and Mejia, Brennan, we've seen it from Mertz as well. Hartford has to be careful because there isn't a true target. Never quite sure where the play is coming from. Vijal out wide. Mertz carries it through. Driving in on Johnson. Touch back to the spot. McFadden can't get a touch. Vijal sweeps it through. Mejia's going to try and keep it back in play. Launched long, charging header. Well, you never want to be flat-footed as a defender. And just got decked by Mertz.
But look at the commitment by Atlanta. White shirts coming forward, completely committing away from home. They play one way, Atlanta, and I hope it never changes. Great cross by Mejia. And there's Mertz at the last post. And like you said, Johnson never saw it coming.
Out wide for Bodadi, who's gone quiet of late. USL Championship on ESPN moves into April. San Diego Loyal welcoming El Paso Locomotive for an early showdown. Sunday the 3rd, 5 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Deportes. Just shy of the flag. Maybe a little surprised Hartford isn't putting more pressure on this one. Obregon trying to do a one-man press. Launch down the line. Just a touch from Jadama. Good enough for Hartford to get it back with about 9 minutes left in regulation. Lewis. Sethi. Johnson. And it rattles around for the corner.
Again, another example of Johnson just not being that natural left footer. So when the ball is played back outside to him, he has to take an extra touch. And the delivery is just not as crisp.
Hartford Athletic proud to partner with Baronet Coffee, a 4th-gen family-owned business founded in 1930. Roasting and selling only the finest specialty coffees. BaronetCoffee.com and save 20% on your first order with the code Hartford Athletic. in for Garces, who got a little bit of a rush on that one, but was able to hold on to it with sure hands.
Well, after a couple of really solid saves from Garces, he's grown in stature, figuratively. And it just took that one so easily. Watch out.
Given away. Obregon couldn't hold on. Swept away by Ambrose, but only to the top of the box. The turning left-footed shot by Lewis sails high.
Well, a little too complacent with the distribution in the defensive third. It was Garces rolling it out. And heads-up play by Hartford, just sneaking that one away from the defenders. But good recovery from the men in white. Here it is again. The roll out by Garces. And in the end, looks like it was Andre Lewis who got the shot off.
Collision near the center stripe. Foul against McGlynn.
You know, I wonder why referees have gotten away from giving the yellow card for players standing over the ball and impeding the ball from the play from beginning again.
It's in the book for delay. All the way back to Garces, who comes off of his line. One back in the midfield, but no chance to get the shot away. Instead, they'll build it up to Sethi on this near side. Help on the overlap, but cuts back. And then threads it in the middle for McGlynn. Quickly gets rid of it. Again, Hartford getting a bit more control, a bit more possession, more in the Atlanta end, but neither team has really threatened the opposing goalkeeper on any regular basis.
A little misunderstanding between Budadi and I believe it was his centre back coming up. Again, we talk about players still second guessing the runs and the passes, and you just want to see that sort of understanding happening a little quicker in the attacking half when it comes to Hartford. Thank God for these players. It's a long season.
Taken away by Sethi, rolls it low, but no real threat for Garces.
Well, Sethi starting off on the left in the opening minutes of the first half has now come across to the right, where he can come in and get shots off. First glimpse, didn't quite get a hold of it. Just snaps it back on that left foot and just rolls it over his foot and just past the first post.
Launched long down the line, but coming back from an offside position. United, as might be expected with a younger team, just seems to be a little rattled.
Yeah, Hartford really starting to grow in confidence. The crowd is behind them. The new stadium feel is definitely starting to take its toll in a good way on this Hartford team.
Obregon looking for a little help. McGlynn trying to bull his way through. Gets a gift from Mertz. But again, Atlanta shuts the door quickly. McGlynn, quick feet for a big man.
Oh.
Lewis threads it through, but not exactly on the same page as Budadi.
Well, it had to take the softest of touches to get Budadi free on that right-hand side. Clever play by Lewis. As soon as that Atlanta line pulled up, he split the gap between the centre-back and the wing-back, and it almost paid off. But this Hartford team really are starting to close in here as they press high and try to get a quick counter-press on this Atlanta United 2 team.
Again, pressure in the midfield, and Atlanta gives it up way too easily. Well, for all of this, kind of have a feeling that Watling's not going to be happy they haven't gotten more chances on goal. A couple of off-balance shots and headers that were a little too close to Garces. For all of that, still a 0 on the scoreboard.
As simple as it sounds, though, you just want to see Hartford just to be a little bit more conscious to get the ball to the number 10. Twice we've seen Danny Barrera get the ball in the last third and split the defense. It didn't pay off, but it showed what he can do. Great tackle by Jadama, though.
McGlynn. Nice ball wide. Sethi coming to this right side, but didn't feel comfortable with the dribble. Poked away.
As much as Atlanta United goes forward with speed, look at their recovery. When the ball goes long to Sethi, to Andre Lewis, to Obregon, the white shirts are there so quickly to close down. Just fundamental defending.
Hartford Athletic would like to extend a special thanks to our partners Jim Beam Bourbon and Hornitos Plata Tequila. Might smooth things out a little bit for the second half. Maybe, just maybe, a little bit of patience. Just carries too far for Obregon. Press nicely up the line.
If you follow Atlanta United too and their MLS team, they play out of the back consistently despite the pressure. So Hartford trying to test their mantle here to see how good they are, how well they can handle the ball in their own third. And so far, they've won that battle, Atlanta United too.
A gift and no get out of jail from the referee. McGlynn wide, one touch back in, but it pops up off the hand of Lewis. Unselfish from Sethi, and Lewis couldn't quite handle, well, he did handle it, which was the problem.
Well, Sethi, looking for that third assist this season, does what no defender expected him to do. They're all expecting him to take this ball to the line or cut in, and he just snaps it right back into Andre Lewis's path. It bubbles up, and the rest is history. Here's that look again. Atlanta United too, just trying to play out at the back, despite that press.
Nice chance here for Vial. Taken down. A free kick about 30 yards away, dead center.
We're pleading with the referee. That's his first challenge. Thought it was kind of harsh myself. But you can see that right hand extend, and that usually means the referee, it just looks like a push rather than a shrug off. Here it comes again. Vijay twisting and turning. And as soon as Bruitt pushes that hand out, he goes into the referee's book.
One minute added on. Brignol Vineyard stoppage time. Let's see if Atlanta has time to pop a cork. Hartford has kept Atlanta at bay for 45 minutes. Maybe the last play of this opening half.
Looks like it's going to be Mikey Ambrose.
Ambrose looking right, passes left. Mejia, but he couldn't get the clean shot. Back to Ambrose, back to Mejia. And I'm sure Hartford doesn't mind. They do whip this one in towards the back post. Smashed header! And to the back of the net. Maybe the final play of the opening half. And Nicholas Firmino from out of nowhere, silencing the Hartford crowd.
Well, the Brazilian times this one to perfection. Something out of nothing for this Atlanta United 2 team. Heads up cross by Mertz, and look at the timing of this one, Firmino. He bends his back and just puts everything behind it. And it goes right down into the corner, no chance for Pack. And it's going to be a totally different dressing room going into the half now for this Hartford team.
And a little bit of celebration from the youngsters for Atlanta. And just like that, what could have been a warm welcome turning into a chilly dressing room. The goal from Firmino, the Revolution cast off. Well, caught something on that cast as he flashes in at the back post. 1-0. Atlanta United 2 at the half. And you look at the Hartford fans here at Trinity Health. They're still going over that one in their heads. How could Hartford, after such a solid first half of defense, allow Atlanta to score?
They have to be stunned. And like we said, something around nothing. You thought Hartford did everything right defensively. Just a little lapse in concentration. And Firmino just gets his head to it. And guess what? 1-0.
Atlanta United 2-1. Hartford Athletic 0 at the half. Well, looking back in at Trinity Health, and maybe the pulse rate going a little more than they would have liked. Phil Shane, Ryan Davis with you here tonight. Hartford Athletic trailing at the break against Atlanta United 2 on practically the last play of the half. Ryan.
Just a little mental lapse from the center backs from Hartford. They were pretty good for the entire first half, but that's all it takes in this sport. One mental lapse and a great finish by Firmino. Just getting all of his head on it. And a heads-up play by Robbie Mutz. He had nothing else to do but to put the ball right back into the mixer. He did just that, and boy, did it pay off. And this Atlanta United 2 weren't exactly exciting in the first half, but they did enough to stay relevant.
By the way, talking about Mertz and Firmino, we'll get a little bit more into them, but taking a look at the Eastern Conference standings right now. Out of the gate quickly, Louisville City and Tampa Bay. Pittsburgh mentioned they've been a bit rebuilt, and keep an eye on Detroit City as this one progresses. Tulsa also in the East, and that could make things a little more difficult as the season progresses. Meanwhile, bottom half, and you take a look at Miami FC coming so close last year, Birmingham Legion and Indy 11, not exactly the way they would want, and Hartford, well, they don't want to go 0 for 3.
Absolutely not. 1 point from their first 2 games. Now at home tonight is going to be a desperate 45 minutes coming up.
Standings brought to you by Jim Beam and Hornitos Tequila. Taking a look at what is coming up for Athletic. They'll try and haul in a victory against cellar-dwelling Birmingham, then Miami. Home match number 2 against Detroit City. before they head back out on the road. And then Loudoun United, who struggled last year, but again, as we're seeing here from Atlanta, I guess it all depends what's in the system.
Correct. You never know with these, as they say, second teams coming down the pipe. You can see Loudoun United show up with some first-team players trying to get some playing time and nursing some injuries. So you never know what could show up with these second teams.
And speaking of Atlanta United too, one of their problems is if someone does have a good game, they might be called up to the parent club, as was the case this past week. They'll have to go with what they have against Detroit City in their next match at home. Then road matches against Indy and Pittsburgh. Louisville City and Detroit also on the docket as we get in towards summer. Talked about the two players that combined on that goal, and for all of the young promising talent, these are two cast-offs. Mertz let go by Colorado, Firmino from New England, but showing they still have something in the tank, and Hartford Athletic pays the price. Stay with us. 1-0 at the half.
You know the crowd is ready. You know the crowd is ready.
That's in! San Diego's in! What's the money? And for a bog! Crashing in! There it is! First of the year for San Diego!
And it's into the back of the net! El Paso!
Far corner and it's in! What a goal! Are you watching Football Americas?
Stay on top of your health. But you can't always see what's coming. So whether you're ready or not, we are. At Trinity Health of New England, offering you expert orthopedic care throughout our hospitals and physician offices, whenever you need us, for whatever it is. You didn't plan on the pain, but you can make your next move an easy one. Trinity Health of New England. Care that's always there.
Well, not a bad place for a slice and something to salve the pain after a goal just before the break. Still another 45 minutes to come here at Trinity Health. Glad you've joined us. Phil Shane, Ryan Davis here on our coverage of Hartford Athletic and Atlanta United. Home opener for Hartford, taking a look at some of the other news and notes from around the championship. And again, we were talking a little bit about a few World Cup play-in games. Well, we already know the U.S. is going to be in Qatar, and several USL players will be there with them.
Yeah, I mean, the stage now for this USL league has grown so much that sort of international talent is creeping into the World Cups, and it's brilliant to watch on a week-by-week basis.
Nearly 92,000 watching Barcelona's women take on Real Madrid's women in Champions League play. As the Women's League continues to expand, USL Super League joining in with an August to June calendar starting next year. Lexington, meanwhile, taking a look as they will be trying to stampede through the opposition, joining League One in 2023 as well.
You know, the USL Women's Super League going to that world format is just exciting to see in the US.
Take a look at some of the other scores full time as the Battery struggle against Las Vegas. Detroit and Memphis play out a 1-1 draw. Goal for the Galaxy reserves as they take on Indy 11. Colorado Springs with a 1-0 halftime lead against Miami FC. No score between Pittsburgh and Loudoun. And still in the first half, Louisville City on the road against Birmingham. Take a look at some of the other matches from USL on ESPN. Talked about this one tomorrow on ESPN Deportes. San Diego taking on El Paso. Landon Donovan with a little work on his horizon. Then Detroit against Birmingham, Indy, Orange County, and Phoenix against Tampa Bay. Well, last year we knew what those two teams brought to the table, and that should be can't miss. Well, Atlanta didn't on perhaps their only clear chance on goal in the first half. We'll show you highlights and more as we come back in this 1-0 affair.
You've made changes, smart choices, a commitment. So this can be hard to understand. But at Trinity Health of New England, we do. Throughout our hospitals and physician offices, our dedicated weight management team provides expert guidance and care for a successful, personalized journey to better health. Because we understand it's not about what you hope to lose, but all you can expect to gain. Trinity Health of New England. Care that's always there.
Hartford Athletic would like to thank our partners, Connecticut Army National Guard, Midline Chiropractic, Walgreens, and Connecticut. Two teams out, ready to get us started here in the second half. Hartford, the green and blue, feeling a little blue, maybe a little red-faced as well after giving up a goal just before the halftime whistle. Off the opening kick, Barrera trying to sneak one in. Looked like it might have gotten lost in the lights a bit, but deflected away and no problem for Atlanta. Phil Shane, Ryan Davis with you. Not exactly the way that Harry Watling wanted that first half to close. And you can see trying to put Atlanta under pressure here early in the second.
Yeah, it was going to be just a couple adjustments at halftime, and all of a sudden now it's trying to find a way not only to equalize, but just trying to find 2 goals to actually get 3 points in this homestand.
Corner kick will sweep in towards Garces. No changes from what we can see to the opening lineups. Edge of the 6, 3 white jerseys in a row. Ball slammed away back across midfield, and Hartford will get it there. Don't miss a minute of the action in 2022, whether your club is on the road or at home. Catch nearly every second of USL Championship action on ESPN+. Home to the USL, MLS, La Liga, the Bundesliga, UFC, and more. Sign up today at plus.espn.com. Looks like there might have been a change after all for Atlanta. And it was the player who scored the 4th goal last week. Manny Mateos stepping into the lineup for Atlanta. Hartford also with a bit of a change. The insertion of Mateos first, what do you think that does, Ryan, for Atlanta's attack?
I think he's just more mobile of a player. He's going to link up with Mejia and Vijal. I think he's just more used to coming closer to them and linking up just past the centre-backs rather than being that out-and-out centre-forward like Luke Brennan. So can cause some problems for Hartford, but not in exactly in counter-attacks and so on, but definitely in midfield build-up play. I think it will be better for Atlanta United too.
You could see Christian Centeno marking that wall back. Centeno's first USL game of the year for the New York referee. We had a good first half. Let's see if he can keep this one under control here in the second.
Phil, look out for Johnson coming around that back post. He's lining up as the last man. Let's see, take a look at his run.
Placed down, one touch into the middle, deflected off the defense, and right to Garces, who starts a fast break the other way. Well, one of those rules of thumb is the last man to touch the free kick tends to be the one to take it.
Yeah.
I think they made that one so pantomime that it became very obvious something was up. They still got the shot on goal, but couldn't get it past Garces.
Still a beautiful delivery by Barrera, right into the corridor of uncertainty.
2 men running the center channel, but that basically means 3 defenders will be there. Seydou, who started the match on the left, but closed the first half on the right, staying there here in the second.
Well, right between the wickets, as they say. Johnson taking his eyes off the ball. All of a sudden, it's a throw-in for Atlanta United too.
Mateos coming in for the 17-year-old Luke Brennan. Had a few moments in the first half, but Mateos bringing a little more experience.
And especially after getting that 4th goal against Charleston last week. Talk about confidence as a striker.
Trying to thread it through for Johnson, but headed clear. One back briefly at the top of the box, but Hartford gives it up again. Rolled wide. 5 in the box. Looking long, but you got to keep it in play. No problem for Garces on that one.
I think it's one of those instances where you have too much time rather than just reacting and putting your foot through it. Udari apologizing to everyone, but it showed the build-up play by Hartford. When they take the time and go in, out, out, in, they finally have enough room to create a chance.
Garces gets rid of it quickly. The substitute, Luke Perpa, trying to track back, but dished wide for his counterpart, Mejia. Mejia slotting it across the 18. A little touch from Mertz, but could not hold on. Taking Brennan out, putting Perpa in, well, gives him a little body, more bodies in the midfield, but also gives Mejia and Mertz a little more room up front.
Perpa is definitely agile, dynamic as well, so any sort of space given to him by Hartford, he can make the most of it and be direct with the ball.
Down the line, Jadama. We talked about it as a plus also, and it definitely is and will be more and more as the season progresses, but with Jadama, Johnson, and Brewitt, only the 3rd game they've played together. For all the leadership and experience they have, it's going to take some time to gel, and we saw that when, despite their height advantage, they let Nicolas Firmino fly in from the back post.
Great point, Phil. I mean, center backs is almost like a living, breathing organism where they have to sort of mold their way into each other and start to figure out each other's moves. Like you said, just went to sleep on the wheel for like 10 seconds, 5 seconds maybe. And Firmino did the rest.
Here's Barrera with Perpa coming in, sliding a little more to the left. Could have been fouled. Obregon with a touch, trying to get it back to his stronger right, but the shot blocked at the top. Barrera stepping in, back to Obregon. Plays it back, and Andre Lewis to the top. Perpa, again, one more playmaker, one more possession player in the midfield. One touch Barrera, but a weak effort off of Johnson, still loose. We'll actually make that Christian Gomez. Top of the box blocked away. Headed high into the air by the goal scorer, Firmino. But Jadama stepping up to win it back. Good ball, Barrera. But a poor touch by Johnson. As you said, good defense, and he couldn't get it past him. Here's Vijal.
Well, anticipation is everything in defense, and that was just a great sliding tackle.
Wood looking up the middle. Quickly wide, Johnson. The Liberian back inside to Gomez. And they'll sweep it far side. Don't miss Hartford's next match right here at Trinity Health. April 7th, 7 p.m., the first match of the U.S. Open Cup. Go to hartfordathletic.com for tickets and more. Hartford throwing bodies forward, forcing the errant pass. But still not really threatening Garces yet. The insertion of Perpa, though, helping them maintain possession. A little gap for Johnson. Wants it back. Obregon has a different idea. Picked out a corner, but he sails it high.
Every time they slow it down and they go out to their wing backs and then bring it back in, that's where the space comes for Obregon and company. Here it is. It goes back outside to Barrera. Clever ball in. Johnson with the extra pass, and Obregon gets onto that right foot, and the Honduran almost made them pay.
Back for Jadama. Lewis, Perpa. The goal scorer, Firmino, able to steal it away.
Just looking at the energy levels, despite Atlanta being up a goal, you could see Hartford getting desperate. You're getting quicker to every ball, winning every duel. It's only a matter of time, Phil.
Obregon but it just spins too far for Prince Sethi. Perp has been very involved since stepping in. A little extra effort from Tom Brewitt, catching the referee's attention.
Really would like to see the replay on this. Brewitt, it looked like an altercation, not an altercation, just a very good hard-nosed duel between Mertz and Brewitt. And yes, you can see Brewitt put his hands across Mertz. Good call by the referee.
Meanwhile, the number 10, Darwin Mateus, the young Venezuelan, barely touching the ball since coming into the half for Brennan. Atlanta just couldn't keep that one in possession. Since 2018, the Fix has been Hartford County's leading wellness spa. Whether you need a quick B12 shot to increase your energy or a vitamin infusion to rehydrate, this is the place to reset your mind and body. Take time, treat yourself, and invest in your health.
Can you get the B12 shots to go, Phil, or do you have to go to the actual place itself? Because I can use a B12 shot.
You might not be the only one. Another change coming in. Apollon, the Haitian, who had played so well last year, coming in for Gomez, taking out a central player, sticking in a wing defender, might be to allow Barrera to slide back to the inside. But Apollon will also give you a lot on the offensive side down the line.
You know, we talk about the different stages the U.S. offers now. Apollon coming from Nice, from San Diego, 1904, owned by Hazard, the Belgian international. And it's just amazing the amount of opportunities now in this great country for soccer.
Might not be a better place on earth. Down the line, Sethi inside to the 6, cut out well by the veteran Ambrose. Something we haven't really talked about, the role that he plays. A young phenom back in his days with Dallas. We've spent some time with Inter Miami recently, but you need those players who have been through the wars a few times to teach the youngsters how to be professional.
Oh.
And Ambrose, that would have been a lesson that he would not want to teach. Almost puts it into his own net, but Garces able to catch up with a spinning ball. Long ball across, headed down and past Austin Pack. A beautiful cross, and Firmino's done it again.
Well, we asked what number 10 Mateus can bring. He came close, got the ball, and flicked the ball through. And that's what got the players behind the defense. And then it was the cross, and it was a peach of a cross by Centeno. Just a teasing cross, no chance for Pack, and what a finish by Firmino. Coming from deep, the playmaker, coming all the way from center midfield. Another timed header, another goal, and it's 2-0. Wow. His stock just rose dramatically over the last 60 minutes. You can't teach height, a basketball coach once said, Phil.
Change for Atlanta now. Vijal, who was big in the build-up to that last play, will take a seat. There, a chance to get back into the game, but Obregon can't get on top.
Well, Prince Sethi doing his famous Harry Potter one flicking. Gets it, start, and he's off to the races and just dinks it over. Obregon just jumped too soon and couldn't get over it, but it just showed what Barrera can.
Had their chances, but they have not been able to convert. And now they trail by 2. Earlier on, that it's Nicolas Firmino, but he today just before the half, and here just before the hour mark, carries away from Sethi. As you can see, on the pitch. Maybe on the pitch in a few years themselves. Given away, Purpa. Still plenty of time for Hartford to get back in this one. Touched back for Lewis, slots it through. Far side Johnson, but he couldn't catch up. And again, just early days, everyone not exactly on the same page.
But 2 trips down the field now, they create a chance to Obregon, and now a ball is slipped through, getting behind the defense to Johnson. It shows that this Hartford team is starting to sort of ask the right questions in the last third of the field now. Tell you what, Jack Collison, after getting a 4-1 win against Charleston last week, now up 2-0, is doing everything right now for Atlanta United.
Chance down this near side. But the cross sails wide, and Garces never has to worry.
A little bit of desperation creeping in. There was no angle to get that cross in. It's Apollon, the Haitian.
Here's the goal scorer, Firmino.
Look how deep he's playing, Phil. And he's gotten 2 headers so far and 2 goals.
Late runs in the box. Bodies falling left and right. Fortune goes down, and that draws the whistle. Fortune, another one of the teenagers. Born in Marietta, came up through Raleigh, but a Trinidad international.
Had a chance to interview him and his brother last year, and let me tell you, the FIFA battles that those two go through on their video game is very real, Phil. There is no love lost.
His brother playing for Memphis. Again, when they get in the game, let's see what happens. Apollon back into the area. Headed clear again nicely. Centeno. And Atlanta now with a 2-goal cushion can be a little more cautious, keep bodies back. Well, you do have that axiom. Foul against Prince Saidi. This is the most dangerous lead in soccer. The rationale being that all Hartford needs is 1, and all of a sudden from a comfortable lead, Atlanta will be hanging on.
It's just enough of a cushion to take your foot off the gas and for Hartford to put the gas to the board.
Grant Howard, the next player to check in for Atlanta. And it will be the Peruvian Mejia who exits.
Looks like some defensive reinforcements. Mejia, that wide midfield player / winger coming off, and Howard, known for his defensive stature, coming on. Let's see if there's a change in formation.
Obregon's day is done. Hartford making a change up front. Mitch Curry, the English striker, will step onto the pitch. 22-year-old from Newcastle. Although came up through Borough. Might be a few members of his family that don't talk to him anymore. 65th minute. By the way, Bruin also spent some time at Middlesbrough before making the jump. Ex-Tacoma captain, showing some promise here today, but again, that back line that Watling is trying to build into a force, not clicking.
Well, we've seen Obregon. He hasn't had any clear-cut chances. He mistimed the header from Barrera just minutes ago, but most of his shots have come on the top of the box or outside the box. Just want to see if Curry can provide something a little different. Johnson.
Chance for Johnson to the 6. A poor touch initially before it's slammed away. Brewitt's header goes awry.
The longer this game goes and the more desperate Hartford gets, is the more gaps at the back that Mateus and company are going to discover as the blue shirts push forward.
And more runs like the one here from Firmino coming from behind, but Hartford has to push to try and get back in this. They got to roll the dice. Westfield Bank, proud to support Hartford Athletic and all they do to make our communities better. Need more convenience from your bank? At Westfield Bank, you can bank your way. Learn more at westfieldbank.com. Across, but it just skips away from Lewis. Quick turn. Now all the way back by Noah Cobb.
I love this from Atlanta United too, though. Make sure Hartford earns every bit of possession they get back. Stretch the field. Of course, you don't want to go into a shell. You still want to be positive, but also use the ball to your advantage. Make Hartford run their long strings out to get back possession. Every possession.
You can see a bit of a different look already with Curry out there. Prince Sadie has dropped into a more support role alongside Barrera as Curry moving to the front line. Englishman now challenging Garces, but couldn't get there in time. Cobb rolling it wide. Here's the goal scorer, Firmino again. Weak effort as he tried to sneak it inside.
Great press by Hartford. They get back possession, exactly what they needed. Just shows the effort and what Watling is trying to do with this team defensively.
Smart step up by Centeno. Taken out in the collision with Budadi, who's been very quiet. Inside, pinching in to clear it away. Jadamet only to the top of the box. Firmino again.
You can see the swagger now by these players in Atlanta. Goals change matches and they change your demeanor as well. Now Firmino, everyone wants to get a touch of the ball now for Atlanta.
Back for Mertz.
Oh,
Touched in, but a little high. Almost goal kick. Meanwhile, for Austin Pack, you talked about the fact that he had some big gloves to fill. Can you blame him for either of the goals?
you know, the cross to the back post just now, you would love to see him to get a glove on it, but it was such a great cross. I really can't fault him. And then Firmino's first header, it was tucked down in the corner. No chance for him to get a glove on that one. So the answer to the question is no. No fault of Pax for either of the goals.
Chance from distance, but too many bodies in the way. Sneaks it around the corner. Inside, deflected up and in! Prince Sadie with the barest of touches. Mitchell Curry causing problems inside. There were 3 blue jerseys charging in on Justin Garces. And the ball ends up in the back of the net.
Well, Johnson does the right thing. Rather, it's Budadi. He puts the ball in the corridor of uncertainty. All the players facing their own net.
And it's the youngster Cobb who pinballs it off himself and into his own net, but Hartford will take it.
It's that ball to get to the byline. Good service from Budadi, but positive play by Hartford. And guess what? 1 goal, we talk about goals change matches. That demeanor you saw from Atlanta United 2 just minutes ago is going to change rapidly, as now Hartford are going to have their tails in the air and have some confidence going.
Curry, flag comes up. Getting back to the Budadi cross. First, the smart part of the play was getting back on side and giving himself an angle to get the cross in. Here, Curry caught by a close flag. Performance Lab, an all-inclusive model bringing the latest technologies for pain relief, wellness, and mobility under one roof. One-on-one treatments and a customized approach to fit your needs. The Performance Lab will get you moving and feeling your best. Into the middle for Firmino. Well, talked about those purple towels. You might see a few of in the stands, handed out by Trinity Health in the debut of Trinity Health Stadium. Call them rally towels, and maybe didn't intend it to be appropriate, but very appropriate as Hartford trying to pull a rally right here. Johnson stepping up, double teamed across the signage, and Atlanta will take its time getting this one back in play.
But this is where the problem starts, though. Both coaches start to make moves to adjust their lineups to reflect the score. When it comes to Atlanta, they've now brought in some defensive players, and now they may find themselves in a bit of a hole.
Same point. Hartford needs to take advantage of those. Here, pinned deep in their own end. Youthful exuberance as Atlanta, too, putting under pressure Austin Pack. The green and blue get it back to midfield. Headed away by Ambrose. Can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC 157. North America's only 24/7 talk for soccer talk, including USL All Access. Tuesday nights at 7. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more. Sirius XM FC 157 and your SXM app. Into the area, bouncing clearly back to Garces.
Johnson just trying to be too direct. We saw when Hartford take their time and play the ball outside and back in, how much room they create and opportunities they create. I think all the players, despite wanting to get that equalizer, have to keep their head on their shoulders and continue to play constructive football.
Now from an Atlanta perspective, do they get rattled? And you can see here, no, all of a sudden forgetting who's supposed to take the throw in as a few more seconds tick away.
That answers your question, but I think players like Firmino, who is full of confidence, and Anjani Fortune, who is so good on the ball, they have to get more involved, check to the ball more often, and start to demand the ball.
Yellow card for delay from Centeno. So the New Yorker wants to get this one back underway. All eyes on the Atlanta number 39. How does he respond after the own goal? Pass behind Barrera, stripped away. Fortune turning it the other way, but good step in by Bruin. Not just age and experience, but a former captain back at Tacoma. You can't have enough captains on a team. Let's see if he can get something done before the final whistle.
Phil, still talking about that body language. Even despite Firmino getting that second goal, Hartford, of course, was winning the possession, chances created battle, and you can still see it continuing. They're just quicker to every ball. That is a very awkward throw, but nonetheless, you can see the blue shirts being just a lot more positive going forward.
Jadama, the 5-year vet, chipping it in. Didn't quite get enough. Grant Howard taking it to the sideline. Mertz just keeps it in play. Howard pinned back, though. Up the middle for Firmino. Back for Firmino. There's the Brazilian trying to ease the pressure. It's a foot race. Budadi scrambling to get back. And he does take it off the boot. Quickly to Perpa, who draws the foul.
But like we mentioned, what Atlanta United 2 supposed to do is the Firminos and the Fortunes of the world, the ball handlers, to take the sting out of the situation. If you are Hartford, you want to go back outside, give your wing backs a touch of the ball. Like Johnson.
Had to contort his body, though, to keep it in play. No one there to take advantage. Dropped in nicely for Mateus, the Venezuelan, bringing it back. In for Fortune, top of the 18. Takes a shot from about 25 yards out. Deflected away, and Barrera smartly. Starts building the other way.
That is beautiful.
Threaded forward on the turn. It's a foot race. Sadie just couldn't get there in time.
Well, the 16-year-old who scored the own goal just had a peach-perfect defensive play. Cobb staying right on the attacker's back in his hip pocket.
Jack Collison screaming, calm down, calm down. By the way, the one-time Atlanta phenom available on the bench as well. We'll talk about that in a moment. Nice turn by Brewitt. Lewis. Well, has his dancing shoes on. He was getting further from the dance floor. Inside for Perkin. Brewitt calling Sathy back to the Liverpudlian and off.
Great press by Atlanta United, pushing them into one corner, not allowing them to switch. And now he's going to give Johnson a chance to get a touch of the ball on this right-hand side.
Mateus almost took it off his boot. Now Brewitt going forward, but hard to run without your legs. Free kick right near the center spot. And a yellow card to Mertz. Hartford Athletic would like to thank Connecticut's own Ripe Bar Juice, the official cocktail mixer of Hartford Athletic. Trying to mix something up here. Fred Sathy takes a seat. Yasiel Cedeno will step onto the pitch. The Ecuador 22-year-old midfielder in his third season from New York Red Bull. Spinning ball inside. Curry trying to get under it. Cobb tries to clear. Battling for it near the arc and then slammed all the way back where Austin Pack will gather it.
Well, now Atlanta is pinned so far back in their own half, they have no outlets to get out of it.
Too much contact, said the referee, but he was about 20 yards behind the play. Mikey Ambrose maybe using a little guile on that one.
Well, veteran play, veteran nudge, but the referee was right on top of it. Direct ball from Andre Lewis. And a little bit of a hip check by Johnson.
Might be interesting to see that from a different angle. Johnson had a different perspective. Grant Howard marauding down the line, and he's going to get a throw in. Little editorial comment about the officiating from the fans. Not sure he got it wrong, but not sure he got it right either. Trying to turn. Oh. Launched inside by Firmino. Poorly cleared by Brewitt. Almost straight to Fortune's boot, who was counting his good luck. Atlanta continuing to try and harass.
Great pressure by Atlanta. No chance for Jadama to get out of it. And in the 80th minute, for the team in white to be still exerting this sort of energy, that is impressive.
Amazing what you can do when you're young. Back for Howard, and they'll roll it around. Hartford Athletic would like to thank our founding partner, Stanley Black & Decker. Stay tuned each week for the Stanley Innovative Play of the Game. 2-1 the score. 10 minutes and change to go. Atlanta catching their breath a bit, trying to make something happen. Mertz rolling it wide. 4 in the box. Back for Mertz at the top of the 18.
Oh.
Looking back post, and he didn't miss it by much.
Well, great patience by Atlanta United to And in the end, Mertz getting a good shot off. But you could see Hartford just not giving them anything behind their defense. They kept everything in front of them. So good defending as well by Hartford. Here it is again. Ball goes out, comes back, and look at Mertz showing on top of the box. Opens his shoulders up, tries to bend it to that far post. Clever effort.
Body lifts, looks, launches. Oh, and the header from Johnson just sails past the gaping corner. Best chance of the night for him.
Well, Johnson trying to get his second goal in as many weeks. Every time the ball goes down to Budadi in this right-hand side, good things seem to happen. Good cross again, good pace on it. And look at Johnson arriving late. Just goes past the last post.
See the shadow on the white of the post as he didn't miss by much. Liberian of Spanish roots. Showing a little bit of his skill, but they need more. In for Mertz, deep. Sweeping it near side for Howard. Defenders open up, Pack looking long. Howard just lost the touch. Smartly pushes it away to slow down any break. Talk about the youth. Can't forget that Harry Watling is the youngest boss in USL's championship. Still just 31. While he does have quite the resume, he's still learning. 7 minutes left in regulation. Blowing past Ruitt, slotted back towards Mateus. Just getting a touch, Jadama. Anything, Ryan, that you think that Watling might have wished he would have done differently to start this match?
I don't think so. I think because they were in such a defensive posture in the last two games on the road, I think they looked a little bit clumsy in not getting an early goal at home. They looked a little slower in the last third, and we talked about chances being created in the last third. It's usually because of speed of play, and in the last third there was a lot of second guessing. Runs, players weren't sure where to run. So defensively they were fine. Of course, Firmino with two fantastic headers, but offensively they just couldn't get that early goal to put Atlanta United 2 in a defensive posture, and as a result Firmino showed up at the right time, and now they are in a very awkward position, Hartford, with just 8 minutes to go, added injury time.
Maybe a hair more, but not much. Nice tackle by Brewitt on the turn, Andre Lewis. Hartford hitting the accelerator here. Johnson. Fresh legs and Howard on that back line. And they'll call the pull down from Modu Jadama, who's getting a talking to from the referee. Was put under pressure and thought he got away with one.
Well, the former Atlanta United 2 defender, like you said, thought he got away with one here, but he got his foot to the ball, but his hands was wrapped around Howard. Just too much contact. We talk about intent in soccer right now than the actual tackle. And I think the referee didn't like the amount of contact involved.
And not a lot, but he gave the referee the chance to blow the whistle.
Correct.
And it wasn't necessary.
Again, he hesitated, just was not quick in his thinking.
Referee going over to the sideline, having a chat with his assistant. Now, might have had a few words for Robbie Mertz in the process. This will be added, so maybe for perhaps even 5 minutes of time added, but precious seconds ticking away. Hartford's going to need to start to chase, which could open the door on the back line. Lamb to the inside. Godwin Mateus trying to make something evolve, but lost his footing and it's pipped away. Barrera a little slow on the draw, kept alive though. Cedeno up the line, but only as far as Firmino. Strong step by Perpa, with the former Eagle unable to hold on.
Just want to go back to Danny Barrera. 12 assists last year. He was the leader of this team offensively, but he, in the first opening 3 games, has definitely struggled to impact any of the games so far.
Also, the team leader in goals, and as you point out, still not putting his name on the mark. Apollon, the yellow card. Hartford Athletic proud to team up with Stop and Shop in all of our community efforts, working together year-round in the fight against food insecurity. Bruin couldn't clear Firmino. Second effort. Just gets past the Brazilian. Johnson looking long. Too many white shirts in the way. Nice by Lewis, the Jamaican.
He's had a fantastic second half, Phil. Has done everything right so far.
And Budadi maybe running a little low on gas, but he seems to be where the danger comes from. Need to get him more involved. Poked away off of the Hartford defender, Apollon, and it's out for an Atlanta throw.
It is night and day. Whenever they go on the right-hand side, they get service from Budadi and company. Down on this left-hand side, Apollon has not been able to get into the speed of the game. And they give him a valuable possession.
Another yellow card for delay, but again, that's part of the game. And you see the Welshman barking at the ref, but I think he's quite proud of his youngsters. Might not seem like much, but if you can stop 3 points from turning into 1, more often than not, that's going to pay off in the money end of the season.
Absolutely. And with Hartford, we talked about only 1 point from 2 games. First home game. What a chance for them to just get a goal back here and sort of revive this Saturday night.
Well, let's see. The referee, if he wants, could even add more time here. So while we head towards the 90th minute, there could be considerable added time. Hartford seems to have gone off the boil a bit here, though. Credit to Atlanta's pressure. Apollon spots a gap. Just misses his teammates up front. Perpa stepping in, though. Dragging it through. Barrera from distance, but the shot a far distance from goal. And too far for Curry.
Well, he's heard us here in the commentary booth. Danny Barrera wants to make something happen, the number 10. And pulls the trigger from about 25, 26 yards out. Here he is. They finally find him with an extra pass. Comes inside, lines the shot up, gets his laces on it. But too little, too late.
Don't forget, Open Cup play coming up on Thursday at Trinity Health. Come on out, support the Athletic before they get back to USL play.
There's nothing more beautiful and grassroots than the US Open Cup in this country. Everybody shows up, taking off their work clothes before they put on their cleats and steps on the field on the big stage.
Not gonna argue. Sometimes overlooked, but I think the players appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely.
By the way, Christian Gomez kind of relates. Now on the bench, but helped win the Copa Venezuela back in his playing days in his native country. Sure, he wouldn't mind making a big run in his second National Cup. Does it stay in? It does.
Wow.
And fancy footwork by Lewis keeps possession. Now Johnson playing more centrally. Apollon.
Have to get something on this sequence, Phil.
5 minutes added. We're already 1 minute into the added time. Brought to you by Brignold Vineyards. 5 minutes of stoppage time, but Hartford lets it trickle away. Soft touch by Brewitt. Still a lot of positives here for Hartford, but eventually, just like last year, if you don't turn those into points, it's going to cost you when it counts.
And it starts to weigh on the player's psyche as well.
Johnson into the mix. Well played. McFadden and company dropping back. Brewitt wins another 50-50 ball. Lewis curling it in. Curry to the middle. Ambrose sends it high. Second effort cleared away by Cobb, the youngster. Back in. Shot by Curry. Flag, I think, stayed down. And that one would have counted. But it screams over the crossbar.
Well, it's never easy when the ball is coming over your shoulder. Here it is again. Ball back in from Jadama, goes over Curry's shoulder, and he has to turn and find his bearings and put it on target. And like you said, the flag did stay down, and that was a chance.
8 goals for Inter Miami's reserve team in Fort Lauderdale last year. Good enough for Hartford to bring him in, the former Borough man. Couldn't quite clear the smog on that shot, though. Coming off of his line, Austin Pack and living to tell about it. Out near side Johnson, halfway through the added time.
It's amazing what happens when you throw caution to the wind and you just put everything on the table, how things pay off. Fortune favors the brave, as they say.
Isn't that the way the game's supposed to be played? Well, here's Fortune looking brave enough, but maybe not quite with that pass. Brewitt had it stripped, but the challenge by the Atlanta midfielder goes straight back to Pack. 2 minutes of added time. High in the air. Curling through for Banana. Howard gets a touch. Shepherded by Apollon across for the throw. Yeah, might be the home opener, but drama to the end here. Let's see if those rally towels can work. Apollon with a little shake. Trying to get around Howard, who blocks it away, wins the corner.
Spectacular recovery by Howard. He was beaten by Apollon. Went to his favorite left foot, number 46, stayed in his hip pocket. Great tackle.
To the final minute we go. Only the third meeting between these two, each team with a win. Can Hartford at least fight back for a draw? Barrera loose inside. Apollon couldn't get it. Johnson tracking it down. All the way across. Centeno trying to defend. Budadi in. Loose inside. It just came off the heels of Perpa, but he couldn't catch it clean. Well out of his line. Pack playing sweeper, not keeper, but he helps build the pressure again. Final 30 seconds. Flying in Firmino with the tackle. He's paying the price, but he's also giving a free kick for Hartford.
This is officially now the last play of the game, and all eyes are going to be on number 10, Danny Barrera, as he comes across to take this free kick. Good run here by the substitute. Lively play, trying to make something happen. And here comes the slide tackle. Firmino gets the ball, but the foul was on McFadden, the number 2.
Cedeno landing hard on Firmino. Had the wind knocked out of him. Now, he's trying to catch his breath, but the problem for Atlanta is it's giving Hartford a chance to catch theirs and draw something up. As you said, probably the last kick of the game coming up. Will it be enough for Hartford to wrestle a point away?
Well, Harry Watling was saying, if we can't get a goal in open play, we will settle for set pieces. Now, you're going to get all 10 players into the box, maybe even the keeper. So 10 players into the box. Danny Barrera behind the ball. Let's see if Hartford can pull something out of the hat.
Two things to note. First, because he needed treatment, Firmino's going to need to leave the pitch, which means Hartford will actually have a man advantage on this set play. Might want to throw Austin Pack into the mix. They could have two men
I was about
in
to
the
say,
attack.
now is the time. This is the last kick of the game.
The other is the fact, though, they did pull Connor McGlynn, the tallest man on the team. But Purpose played a key role here in the second half. Firmino scored 2 goals to give Atlanta the lead, but he's starting what could be the final play of the game off the field. And it is Austin Pack, the 6'3" keeper, standing near the penalty spot. Almost everyone inside the box. Now they're subbing him smartly. Carlton coming in, so they're back at full strength. Smart play, Mike Collison. But can Hartford take advantage? Launched to the 6, cleared away. They'll try and put it back into the mix. Scrambling back to get onside. The header by the keeper, but he was probably in an offside position. Well, maybe not, as the defenders scramble to get back, and Garza's taking his time.
Well, the problem started. Barrera did not get the ball over the wall.
And the final whistle blows. Atlanta United 2 holds on for a 2-1 win.
Well-deserved Atlanta United 2. Firmino showing up at the right time, but Hartford, lots of questions to be asked. Stepping off the field here. What to do in the last third to create clear-cut chances. They suffer as a result. Atlanta make them pay. Well-earned 3 points on the road for Atlanta United 2.
Well, a lot of excitement and drama. You got your money's worth, but they did not get the points. So don't miss the next match right here at Trinity Health Stadium on April 7th at 7 p.m., hosting our first match of the 2022 U.S. Open Cup Tournament. Go to hartfordathletic.com for tickets and more information. A hard one to swallow for Hartford. The own goal made things interesting, but Firmino gave Atlanta the points.
Correct. Barrera tried his best to create some chances in the second half. Lewis, a spectacular 45 in the second half, but too much Firmino. Atlanta United 2 take home all the glory.
From Ryan Davis, I'm Phil Shane. Thanks for joining us. Hartford 1, Atlanta 2. A few wrinkles on display from Atlanta United, some by necessity, some by design. For Hartford Athletic, their home opener didn't quite go according to script, but promising signs for the future.
Absolutely. The more they can gel, the quicker they play in the last third, the better for Hartford. Atlanta United 2, just fantastic for 90 minutes.
Take a look at the way this one developed, and for Hartford, trying to get this one going nicely for the home fans. Unfortunately for them, Nicolas Firmino decided to try and step into the mix. The 21-year-old Brazilian making the jump from Omaha in the offseason and was able to get the job done twice in the first half. Good work as well by Aiden McFadden and Eric Centeno on the flanks.
Talking about jumping, Phil, Firmino timing those runs in that box today was spectacular by itself.
Let's take a look at the highlights and how we got here. It was the home opener and scoreless as we headed towards the half. But one last play, and it was Mertz sweeping this one in. And despite the height, Firmino finds a way to find the net.
Yeah, complete misjudgment by the center-backs. Firmino did not even have to jump. He stayed on his feet and got all the power by just whipping his neck through it.
A few chances like that for Hartford that went wide or to the keeper in the first half. Approaching the hour mark, and same players getting involved. Good work by the youngster Vijal. Mertz again. An opening for Centeno from the flank. And the defense falls asleep again.
What a teasing cross, like you said, from Centeno. Thought Pac may have tried to get a hand to this one, but he was a little slow to get to the back post. And that man, Firmino, makes them pay.
Credit to Atlanta to get the 2-0 lead, but full credit to Hartford to create. Maybe the danger man on the day, Yunus Boudadi. This one goes in off the 16-year-old defender, but creating the chance to make a game of it.
Well, like you mentioned, Phil, he hesitated his run to stay onside and then puts the ball right in the danger spot. No chance, 2-1.
So 2-1 the final. A few other chances before the final whistle, but unconverted. So that's the final. You see 26 shots, 18 by the home team, but the green and blue could only get 5 on Garces' net. Possession right down the middle. Cards as well. Wasn't really a nasty affair, but kind of sense if these two teams meet later in the season, it could be, as Atlanta able to walk away with 3 road points.
So Hartford, after this game, back to the drawing board. I think Harry Watling has a lot of things to discover in the last third for Lewis, Obregon and company to get some goals and get them early.
Well, back home for the Open Cup on Thursday. The next home match in USL play, April 23rd against Detroit City. The final, Hartford 1, Atlanta 2. Hope you enjoyed it.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.